wanted to solve problems for Nigerian women. At some point, we realized that people were battling with certain hair problems, including scalpage, hair breakage, dryness, and also the fact that at that point, relaxers were popular and people needed to straighten their hair. And in doing that, they went through significant amount of pain. So wanted to create a solution for them that first understands the challenges of the Nigerian woman, and also will give her some comfort in trying to beautify herself. My name is Chika Ikenga. I'm the founder of Haircare Limited, the owners of Nature's Gentle Touch. I'm also the creator of Nature's Gentle Touch. Well, I studied industrial chemistry at the University of Nigeria in Soka. I graduated in 1986. I'm from the eastern part of the country, and I've been in Lagos since 1988. I first worked as a salesperson in a chemical company. Then when I realized I wanted to go solve this problem, and one of those problems, like I did say earlier, was women struggling with certain hair challenges. I felt that there was a clear opportunity to help them solve that problem. So I needed to start my own business to be able to provide that solution. But earlier, while working, I had been researching on that problem. So when I felt it was time to give my full attention to that solution, then I resigned. What you would find out is foreign products, particularly the global brands, had one solution for everybody. Maybe the same solution for all women of our own color, whether they lived in the US or in Europe or in Africa. But when you consider our weather and our diet being different from these other areas I've mentioned, then you realize that one product cannot solve everybody's different problems. So I felt that there was a need to create a brand, a product that will solve the problem of Nigerian women living in Nigeria. Interestingly, the biggest challenges have been from stakeholders in the ecosystem. First, the stylists wouldn't use our products, so we had to set up a hair school to train a new generation of stylists who would understand how to use our products and provide solutions to our consumers. Our hair training program lasts 9 months, and people are attending school every day, and it's divided into 2 parts. We teach you the science of the hair and the art of it. If you went to a salon to learn, you probably will learn the art of it. But with us, you first learn the science, so you understand biology, you understand chemistry, and somewhat you understand a bit of physics. So you understand how products work, the hair structure, before you style it. So we teach you to understand science and understand the art of hair, to make you a complete professional. Secondly, the open market wouldn't accept our products. Then the Nigerian market distribution and market space was largely dominated by what you call the open market, the trade fair market, the Balogun market in Lagos. So they wouldn't accept our products. So we now had to sell direct to retailers, neighborhood retailers. Then the consumers will struggle with the consumers because they didn't want to buy made in Nigeria. So in response, we had to go to universities and started selling to students, started educating students who now became our influencers. I think that was the smartest thing we did. If we used students as ambassadors, interestingly, because at that point they were at an intersection. If you went to school around that time, you would realize that parents actually looked up to students to bring back trends, and their peers also looked up to them to know what was new in case they were not aware of that. And importantly, their younger ones also looked up to them. So they were at an intersection. They were largely influencers, which we identified early today. I mean, if you look at the trend today, influencers are a big part of marketing. So we just dabbled into that, and that worked for us, and massively too. A big advantage for us is our understanding of our customers and consumers. From the beginning, we educated before we sold, and we still do that. Knowledge sharing is important. It's helped us to understand the problems that they do have, and it's also helped us to build a big community. We made a bet on the Nigerian market. We made a bet, start manufacturing 29 years ago. We made a bet on local raw material sourcing. And then we made a big bet on education. So what we've had has been people who understand their own problems and also understand our solutions and buy into our solutions and believe in our solutions. We do have some people who have been with us for the past 29 years. 2003, to try and expand our distribution network, we went to South Africa and acquired an existing beauty company called Hair Survey Cosmetics. So that helped us to create a route to market into South Africa. So being in South Africa allowed us to gain access to knowledge and allowed us to have access to R&D practices, research and development practices, and also marketing strategies. One of the things Nigerian Touch has helped or brought to awareness is the role of culture in business. So you realize that a lot of things are actually being driven by cultural perspectives. If you look at natural hair, for example, it is a mark of identity. And that whole evolution has driven the way the hair care business is being perceived and the way the hair care business has, has evolved. I think personally, I would like to think that I've made some contribution to hair care in Nigeria, both the practice and the consumption. First, if we look at our industry, it started a while ago, about 25 years ago. It was perceived as an industry for people who are not really very educated. So you had the industry being called hairdressing, for example, and it was largely for people who couldn't maybe progress with their education. So they just sent them to go learn a trade. But we're able to reinvent that industry, that it became an industry where people can find a profession. It became an industry where people no longer just talk about hairdressing as a craft. They can talk about hairstyling. They've got fancy names like trichology. And we got the Nigerian hair care industry to be very ready, to be able to move to the next level, like where it plays a role in fashion. It becomes a key part, a key accessory, a key part of beauty. And importantly, it's been able to create a job, or jobs for so many people. So in terms of changing that perception, I think I played a big role, and Nature's Gentle Touch also did play a big role. We've also played a role in providing a cultural identity for people, because we are at the forefront driving the so-called, natural hair. But most importantly, what I like to talk about is the fact that we made Nigerians to start believing in Nigerian products. Today, I can say that because of Nature's Gentle Touch, Nigerians are more likely to buy Nigerian hair care products than foreign products. And what the government couldn't achieve by legislating buy made in Nigeria, we've been able to do it. Young people, older people today are very proud to buy made in Nigeria.